going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists? And this is a quick-ish, hopefully, video response to Idic Beer's The Wonders of Digital Rules. Now I'm just going to do this before I nip out to my studio and get some painting done, hopefully. So, but yeah, in his video, and I'll put a link to it in the description below, so you can go check that out as to what I'm on about. Nick was talking about like physical books and rule books versus digital, and his thoughts on that. Now, my penny's worth on this subject matter is, well, first and foremost, I prefer the physical book. I like to hold it in my hands, flip through it, look at pictures, just keep them there, just, you know, at my leisure. There's something about turning the page over sliding your hand across a screen. That's just me. I know some of you prefer the digital, and they've both got pluses and minuses, and they've all got their uses. Now, someone like myself, who's fairly new to the hobby, but not that new, but fairly new to the hobby. But I'm an old school person, I suppose. I'm a collector, definitely at heart. I like to have the collection on my shelf. I like to see the books there. I like to sit back, look at them. Just, yeah, I don't know. There's something about, I like the physical handling of it and opening it up and the smell of the pages and all that kind of thing. Just can't beat that, I don't think, personally. Now, I know that books, you know, it's not good for the trees and whatnot, cutting them down to make the paper and so on, and we need to really be aiming towards living in a more paper-free environment. Yes, I agree with that. I do agree with that, definitely. But I just like the physical books. Now, that said, I can see why people put their rule books on their iPads and Kindles and what's the other ones? There's a few out there, book readers, isn't there? I can see why they put them on those, because they can have all their rule books with them and like one data slate. They got it there, as opposed to carting around oodles of rule books, which, let's be honest, in Warhammer, they're pretty heavy. They're pretty heavy, especially that 6th edition rule book you showed, Nick. And that was 6th edition just when I got into it. So yeah, I mean, I don't have it anymore, but excuse me, I'm just going to readjust my sitting position. I don't have it anymore, but yeah, there is something about the ease of, there we go. There is something about the ease of having it on one iPad or whatever, and you got all your books there. People like Mini Wargaming and that, I can see why they use iPads, because they got all their rule books on that. And I know they have the physical copies as well. They just store them away somewhere. But I mean, but for me, I like to have them on the shelf. Some people could say yes, but they're taking up valuable space that you could use for other stuff like models and whatever. You know, yeah, that's the point. Fair play. Yeah, there is that. I do have concerns about digital books, in that it's digital. So is it not possible that it can be copied, ripped off by some unscrupulous person? Can it not be ripped off by from Games Workshop and then redistributed in the black market? You know, could it? You know, if people buy like Chinese knockoff miniatures, then they're going to buy copies of the latest codexes and things like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure GW have taken a lot of steps to prevent such measures, but they can't make it impossible. That's not possible. I mean, somebody hacked NASA's computer, didn't they? Their computer systems with just a basic household computer, for goodness sake. If they can do that and download information, then somebody out there can do the same with electronic books, ebooks and iBooks or whatever it's called. They can do that. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with the digital book format, other than the freebies you can get from like GW and so on. I've got that Assassins one. I don't know if I'm able to get it up here. Let me just have a quick look. Excuse me a moment. The Inquisition preview, e-publication. I've got that GW put out. I was just looking at it then. Where you just get like the first part of it for free, and it's to entice you to buy. Well, and I haven't yet, but it's just me. Yeah, so, and I think they are trying to head towards digital publications, and I can see why. Less production costs for them, well, zero production costs. Just, obviously they've still got to write the thing, but to actually produce it, they haven't got to mass produce loads and loads and loads of books, store them in warehouses or anything like that. None of that. Just store it in cyberspace, don't you? And then people download it as they pay for them. So yes, but from a business point of view, it makes absolute sense to go digital. Absolute sense. So I think my thoughts on it are that we will eventually see stuff that's owned. Well, we've seen it now, aren't we? Stuff that is only available on digital books. I mean, the Adeptus Sororitas book is only available digitally anyway, and I refuse to get that because it's so out of date. I've seen it. My friend's got it. It's bit pants. It needs updated. I want the physical book. I want an update. That's another video. I like physical books. I like to hold them, touch them, smell them, look at them from a distance, run my fingers along them, feel it. The physical contact. Like to feel physical contact with something. Not just a metal iPad or whatever. It's just. Yes, I would use them, especially if I was going on a holiday or something like that, and I wanted a load of books to take rather than taking loads of books. I'd have them on my iPad or Kindle or whatever. That'd be cool. I've got a couple of books on my phone, just for when I'm kind of like, I don't know, sat in a cafe waiting for someone, or I'm waiting for an appointment, bus stop, that kind of thing. And I read through them then. It's not the best, but that's alright, I'd rather have the books, but I don't want to carry them around with me, sorry. But, yeah. So, I mean, ideally, my ideal thoughts on it would be, have both. Just keep both. In an ideal world, you'd have the digital version and the physical version. Up to you if you want to purchase both. But that's my thoughts on it anyway. I mean, another thing GW could do to kind of dissuade people from ripping it off would be to offer free updates for people that have bought that edition. Take the Tau Codex, for example. Say you bought the Tau Codex, that's recently been updated, hasn't it? It's more of an update rather than a rewrite. Fair enough, whatever. But they could have like a digital link to what edition it is. This is a 7th edition codex. Later on in the year they update it with a few things, and if you've bought it, you get the updates for free. Just offer them as free updates. Whereas the person on the black market, yes, he could get them for free as well, but he'd have to keep on top of knowing what was the latest stuff, and then people would have to keep going back to him for the updates. And to be honest, it'd be too much of a aggro, I think. Now, I'm sure GW might do something like that. Now, I don't know. Maybe they do. Like I say, my knowledge of it is a bit limited because I just don't use them. I don't use digital books. I prefer physical stuff. So, give me the physical book any day of the week. That's my pennies worth of thoughts on it. Like I say, I'll put the link to Nick's video down below. I'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, all brushes lead to war. And bye for now.